Hello, my name is Olivia Clarke, and I'm a faculty member in the Educational Development and Quality Centre, or the EDQC, at the University of Global Health Equity in Rwanda. Today we will be talking about the creation of the EDQC and the importance of the centre to advancing excellence in teaching and learning at UGHE and beyond. We are going to take you through how the EDQC was created, what its main focus areas are, and the next steps. The University of Global Health Equity is an international health sciences university located in Butaro in northern Rwanda. UGHE was created to help answer some of the most urgent challenges facing health services in Africa. That while 24% of the global burden of disease occurs in sub-Saharan Africa, only 3.4% of the world's health workforce are situated here. UGHE prepares healthcare professionals to solve the world's most pressing needs and to push for equity at the forefront of education and healthcare delivery. UGHE is an initiative of Partners in Health. Our flagship program, the Master of Science in Global Health Delivery, opened in 2015, and we have now graduated over 150 students from that program. Our medical school was launched in 2019 with an inaugural class of 30 Rwandan students who will undergo intensive global health and medical training. This year, we ran our first One Health and health management options within our master's program, and we will be opening a nursing school, PhD programs, and gender and sexual reproductive health programs within the next year. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce my colleague Janet Westbury. Janet's home institution is Brock University, but she has been working closely with UGHE for the last 2 years through a volunteer placement with Academics Without Borders. Janet will now take us through the process of how the EDQC was created.
Thank you so much, Olivia, for the introduction. It's been an absolute honor to be working with you and UGHE through this entire process. And at this point for the presentation, we'd like to share with you a little bit of a brief insight into our process for developing this center. Being very aware that this is a short presentation, please feel free to reach out to either one of us if you have any questions. So to begin with, we want to talk a little bit about that spark, the catalyst for this relationship. Located in rural Rwanda, UGHE recognized the challenges facing higher education in Africa. And the Educational Development and Quality Center, or more affectionately called the EDQC, establishment was a result. The aim of the EDQC was to position this university at the forefront of educational quality and teaching excellence, as it would facilitate advances in teaching and learning through quality assurance and faculty support at all different levels, including the institutional, regional, and national levels. This process was then facilitated with Academics Without Borders. Academics Without Borders' key principle is building capacity through collaboration and a focus on excellence and sustainability. Those principles were directly aligned with my own personal values, which made a perfect fit. So now I'd like to walk you through a very abbreviated journey of the creation of the center. There really truly can be no timeline on developing solid and trusting relationships. Developing these relationships would only allow me to understand the organizational culture of this institution. In doing so, I really truly needed to acknowledge my own personal ignorance and what was not a lived experience for me. It was my understanding that there were many voices at UGHE that I needed to listen to and truly understand what those voices represented. My intention was and continues to be developing trust. Through that, consultation was a necessity to determine the needs, the wants, the barriers that this center, the first of its kind in Rwanda, would have to go through. And through open communication and transparency, the development of the EDQC would be a collaborative effort. And as you can see here by the list of individuals that were interviewed, I chose to review quite a breadth of perspectives, from in-house to staff to faculty to visiting scholars to students to administration. So regretfully, and it's truly regretfully, my first visit to Rwanda, time did not allow me to venture into the community to hold interviews. I did, however, speak intentionally to those who had close relationships with the representatives of the community, and it was their role to bridge relationships between UGHE and the local Butaro community. I also think it's really important for us to look at the educational levels of those with whom I spoke. Many staff have very high levels of postgraduate education, and they were bringing quite a bit of vast knowledge to the table in all of these interviews. From these interviews, a document called The Voices of the Stakeholders was developed. All of the interviews were analyzed to generate the foundation of a unified and complete strategic plan for the EDQC. Through a descriptive analysis, the following main themes specifically to the center emerged: infrastructure, specifics, evaluation, and consistency. It was essential for all of the potential stakeholders to be involved right from the beginning of this process, and it was the notion of nothing about us without us. And from the beginning, inclusion was essential. There are many words in the Kinyarwandan language that would encompass what the center was to become, and the EDQC would engage and empower, and it was going to make it a very tangible part of this institution. And at that moment, we knew that our intention would be to also have a fully translated Kinyarwandan parallel document as well. And through the evaluation of the voices of the stakeholders, it became really apparent quite quickly that the mandated needed expansion. The stakeholders would be extended from what we originally thought when I was asked to come onto this project to be focused on faculty, to also include the staff members, the community, as well as the students. And in addition, it was determined that the library and both the simulation and e-learning centers would currently reside in the EDQC for a robust team that would focus on excellence. So now I want to talk a little bit about the mission, vision, and values. And as I go through that, there's a Kinyarwandan word, Mbumbwe, which talks about inspired equity, togetherness, and it's fused through the vision and the mission throughout this entire document. And then became embedded in these 5 values, which I'm going to quickly comment on here. And these 5 values are threaded throughout the entire strategic plan. The first value is inclusivity, the focus on prioritizing equity, diversity, cultural awareness, respect, and accessibility. The second value is collaboration. We have the true belief that the notion that when equitable partnerships are mobilized, transformative change may occur. Excellence, that was always foundational, embracing innovation, emphasizing exemplary practice, creative delivery, evidence-based approaches, and the scholarship of teaching and learning are embedded throughout. With regard to reflectiveness, we believe that critical reflection cultivates growth and innovation. And finally, integrity. We believe intentionally reviewing the needs of the greater community and having a transparent and high ethical standard was vital in creating an enduring center. At this point, I'd like to pass it over to Olivia, who will discuss the focus areas and the future.
The focus areas of the EDQC are at the core of what we do. Each one of these focus areas targets specific ways of building excellence in teaching and learning across UGHE and partners within and outside of Rwanda. The focus areas are all intentionally linked and have been informed by conversations with stakeholders. In brief, the focus areas are faculty success, developing services that respond to individual and collective needs of the faculty and broader academic community at UGHE. Academic success and development, investing in staff, students, and faculty by facilitating professional development and support services. Curriculum support, facilitating all aspects of curriculum development, review, change, and accreditation of new programs, and fostering interdepartmental collaboration and reflection. Scholarship of teaching and learning, leading and supporting research into the knowledge and implementation of high-impact pedagogical approaches to advance practice in Rwanda and the region. Educational technology, collaborating with e-learning experts to create diverse, accessible, and innovative learning environments. Community outreach, creating a community of practice of excellence in health education by involving the wider community and partners outside of UGHE. and finally, health professions education. Leading the development and implementation of health professions education offerings in Rwanda, and engaging health professionals to advance their qualifications and pedagogical skills. We have developed these focus areas because we want to have collaboration, reflection, inclusivity, innovation, excellence, and transformation at the core of what we do. These are the values that drive us. It's important to note as well that these areas are focused on capacity building and sustainability for long-lasting impact. And as well as the focus on our core values, a holistic approach has been taken during the development of the focus areas. Through our conversations with stakeholders, we quickly learned that if we wanted to build a centre of excellence in teaching and learning, we have to focus on much more than just supporting our faculty to be more innovative and effective in the classroom. This is of course essential, but it's also about the professional development outside the classroom, research, technology, and supporting the success of everyone in the wider UGHE community. It's also about recognising that education is embedded in the health professions. Whether you are a global health practitioner, or a doctor, or a professor, or a community health worker, education is at the core of what you do. By focusing on those links between health professionals, education, and building a stronger, more equitable health system, we are not just facilitating excellence in education, but we are also promoting its importance. So what have we learned? We have learned that tying our values to everything we have done so far is vital to ensure that there is a sense of involvement and buy-in from faculty. We have learned that excellence in teaching and learning does not stop at UGHE. We have to be intentional about our partnerships and extending our services across Rwanda and the region. We have learned that we have to be mindful of the needs of the health sector if we are to produce excellent health educators who can train the next generation of health professionals in Rwanda. We have learned that there needs to be a significant shift in the way educators are perceived, so that excellence in teaching and learning is as much about pedagogy and skills in the classroom as it is about content expertise. So looking ahead, now we've completed our strategic plan and activities within the focus areas are being implemented at UGHE and across our partners, we are now building foundational structures and amplifying our impact to ensure sustainability. We are hiring a health professions education specialist and writing centre faculty who will provide expertise in cross-cutting areas. We are also developing processes that respond to our priority areas. With a particular focus on capacity building and sustainability, several faculty development trainings have been successfully run involving faculty from the University of Rwanda, Rwanda Medical and Dental Council, and specialists from teaching hospitals, as well as UGHE faculty. This is with the aim of training trainers who can then run similar programs in their institutions. We are also amplifying the EDQC's work by partnering with other centres within UGHE to ensure there is a continued dialogue between departments. We are also conscious that our strategic plan is currently in English, and we will be translating it to Kinyarwanda to give voice to the context in which we work and to enhance accessibility, inclusivity, and collaboration.
Thank you, Olivia. Before we complete this presentation, it's essential that we recognize those supporting institutions and agencies. The vision of the University of Global Health Equity for seeing the need for the center, Brock University for supporting my work across the globe, and Academics Without Borders, whose focus on capacity building and sustainability have been and continue to be the foundation for this project. Olivia and myself would like to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation and enjoy the rest of your day.